Our public hearing of City Council for Monday, December 16th, 2024 to order. The City of Dawson Creek acknowledges that we are privileged to live and work on Treaty 8 territory in the traditional home of the Cree, Danazay, Saulteaux, Sicanee, and Slavey First Nations. We value the Métis peoples that live and gather here. We commit to upholding the respectful relationships these nations have built with the land, and we acknowledge our responsibility to carry that forward today and into the future. First order of business is 2, corporate officer to read aloud the statement of the public hearing. So 2.1, statement of public hearing. So over to you, Janice, or Deputy Corporate Officer.
This public hearing is being convened in accordance with Section 465 of the Local Government Act to allow the public to present their views to Council regarding the following proposed zoning bylaw amendment. Zoning Amendment 2402, Woodlands Bylaw number 4589, 2024. Members of the public are encouraged to participate in this hearing and are asked to observe the following protocols. The purpose of the public hearing is to provide an opportunity for residents to express their opinions about the proposed changes to the bylaws. We will begin with a presentation from staff, who will provide an overview of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment and the procedural steps taken so far. Following this, the Mayor will invite comments from the public. Notice of the public hearing for the proposed bylaw amendment was delivered to neighbouring properties and advertised on the City's website and social media platforms. This was done to inform residents of the proposed changes and encourage them to provide feedback via email, letter, or by attending the public hearing today. 3 comments were received, all of which are attached to the public hearing agenda, and staff answered both of the comments from members of the public. Everyone present who believes their interests may be affected by the proposed bylaw amendment will be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard or to submit written comment regarding the matters contained within the proposed bylaw. A microphone is available at the delegation table, and the Mayor will ask members of the public to step up one at a time to speak. The Mayor will only recognize speakers at the table. Each speaker will have 5 minutes to address Council, and they should begin by clearly stating their name while keeping their comments focused on the proposed bylaw. Public hearings are formal processes intended to allow Council to gather feedback from individuals. While Council members may ask questions for clarification, they will not engage in debate with speakers or among themselves. The purpose of the public hearing is for Council to listen to those wishing to make representations. Please note that Council cannot accept any further information or submissions once the public hearing has concluded.
Thank you, Janice. Next order of business 3, update from staff. So 3.1, notice of public hearing regarding proposed zoning amendment bylaw number 4589, 2024.
Good morning. I'll just be providing a brief summary of the zoning amendment for this public hearing. In November of 2021, the city was approached by the applicant, Woodlands, who's interested in developing 31.24 hectares of vacant land along the southwest border of the city of Dawson Creek. The subject land is located adjacent to an existing residential development to the north. It sits south of 116th Avenue, north of the Dangerous Goods Route, east of 17th Street or 219 Road, and west of undeveloped greenfield land that lies outside the city boundaries in the Peace River Regional District. At the time, the land use under the official community plan was designated as development reserve. So this means that the applicant would need to submit a neighborhood concept plan and go through an official community plan amendment to amend the land use. The OCP is the city's guiding document, which means elements of the neighborhood concept plan would need to support and reflect the intent of the land use in the official community plan. The proponent developed the neighborhood concept plan in February of 2022 through additional discussions with staff. The neighborhood concept plan was reviewed and revised and resubmitted and eventually approved, taking phase 1 of the development out of development reserve. Phase 1 of the development consists of a mix of medium and high density residential development along with park space. Woodlands initially submitted a zoning bylaw amendment application for review of consideration from Council in June of 2022. So you have seen this amendment a few times to permit uses not permitted in the CD1 zone or the Comprehensive Development 1 zoning. So this brings us to May of 2024. Zoning bylaw number 4582, 2024 was adopted on May 27th, 2024, to comply with new provincial legislation that required it to be updated. And before adopting this new zoning bylaw, a zoning amendment to amend the previous zoning bylaw was awaiting approval from the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure, or MODI as we like to call it for short. And so after this approval that we received from MODI, third reading and adoption of the zoning amendment took place. But before that time, the zoning bylaw was rescinded with the new zoning bylaw that we adopted in May. What this means is that this zoning amendment was under the previous zoning bylaw. So it had to come back to council for review under the new requirements of the new zoning bylaw. So following all of the comments that we received from the previous public hearing on this zoning amendment regarding concerns around the maximum building height of principal buildings and structures in that zoning, staff worked with the applicant to address the comments and revise the amendment and bring it back to council for further consideration. The revised amendment as presented has been reviewed by legal counsel, and it is what you see today. So the revised amendment includes maintaining the current maximum building height, which is lesser of 10.5 meters or 2 stories of principal buildings and structures in a buffer area that is within 40 meters of the lane south of 116th Avenue. The remainder of the property maximum building height and principal buildings and structures will be the lesser of 16 meters or 3 stories.
That is it?
That's it.
Thank you. All right, would somebody like to make a recommendation? It's a recommendation. Would somebody like to? Oh, there isn't? Oh, okay. So the recommendation is already on the floor from... Okay. To item number 4 then? The written comments? Okay. So do we need to read the written comments? Oh, no, okay. So we'll go to number 5. We'll call 3 times for public comments. So I'll call once for any public comments. Yeah, if there is, just go up to the delegation and then just state your name and then you'll have 5 minutes. So yes.
Sure. My name is Kim Hughes. I do live on 116th. I think my comment today isn't in looking at this as it not should move forward. I'm not one of those not in my backyard. I guess I'm coming kind of twofold today, and I do feel I'm a little late to the party, but my 2 comments are, I think most people know I run the Child Development Center, and we have about 63 staff now, and I use our affordable housing as a massive recruitment strategy. The people that I am successfully recruiting are moving from other parts of the province who are absolutely not interested in living in a multi-family dwelling because that's what they only can afford in the places where they reside. So I guess I'm just putting a comment out there as an individual who does recruit, as those that come to us, and I'm sure many others in my industry, our biggest pitch is that homes are affordable, and that's kind of our one hook in Dawson Creek, as we are listed as the most affordable housing in the province. Staff that I'm recruiting want a home, they want a yard, they want a driveway, they want a dog, and so I'm just putting out there as a pause and a reflection when it comes to multi-family dwellings versus what might be considered affordable single home dwellings. The other I come to you is I am a landlord. I own 2 small rental homes, and we've owned them for over 15 years with consistent people in them and long-term renters who we've never had issues filling them. They are smaller for sure, but the people that come to us are moving out of what they might consider high and dense housing because they want a home, they want a family, they want young kids. So I'm coming not necessarily as far as, whoa, this is a zoning, but maybe more of a conceptual plan as far as what I think a pitch for Dawson is for recruitment, what we can offer that other communities can't. People that come to us at the CDC are really looking at the land mass and are wanting to own their piece of land or at least have a home that they can engage in a northern style and not live in a condo. That's my pitch.
Perfect. Thank you, Kim. Is there any other comments, public comments? No? All right, I will call one more time. Is there any public comments? The second time, is there any public comments? And a third time, is there any public comments? With hearing none, I will close this public hearing.